Today we talk to BKFC heavyweight champ Joey Beltran about his upcoming fight with Sam Shewmaker and his legacy on the sport. Coming up next. First, let's just touch on, what have you been up to, the last few months, man?
Business as usual for me. Been training essentially since October 20th. I was back in the gym.
Yep.
Don't like to use the word training camp because I've been in training camp since fucking June of 2018. Just right back to it, just trying to get better, refine my style, which is unique to me and unique to Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships rule set.
Yep.
And just always working on that cardio, man, because that's my fucking secret weapon. So everyone's playing catch up on that. So that's basically what I've been doing. And I've actually been in Miami since January 24th, and just fucking like totally revitalized. I feel like I'm in love with training again. It's so fun down here.
Now is that something that's going to be like permanent, or just kind of just for this camp, just for this fight kind of thing, or?
Dude, I don't know. It's hard to convince me to go back to California, especially given all the shit show that Gavin Newsom has over there.
Yeah.
Here's the crazy concept that they're doing in Florida. Now, check this out. When you go out in public, you wear a mask.
Yeah.
Okay. And then if you're sick or immunocompromised, you stay home.
Right.
What? The freedom of choice? What the fuck? I'm fucking flabbergasted over here. And it's like ridiculous. Like, oh my God, I love it. The training is like just so good. Like, I'm with my coach working. I'm literally training all day. Like, I'm just hanging out in the gym and just train all day. And then for sparring, man, like back at home, like I would have to drive. I live in Oceanside. I have to drive to either like Chula Vista, which is an hour, or Long Beach would be like an hour and 20, sometimes an hour and 30 with traffic. Just to get good high level sparring.
Yeah.
Here, I have like multiple gyms that are like an $8 Uber ride away.
Right.
So it's ridiculous. And I'm getting like crazy good high level looks, like Olympians, former world champions. Like, it's just crazy, man. It's crazy. I love it. So, like I said, long story short, I don't know that I will be going back. I have to go back to tie up some loose ends. Don't get me wrong, but I mean,
right.
We'll see. It's looking good.
Well, side note, didn't you guys like do like a petition to remove that guy, and then like all of a sudden?
Yeah, they did the Gavin recall Newsom fucking signing. He got like over 1 million signatures or whatever, but like, I mean, that doesn't mean anything. They really don't listen to the people. Let's keep it honest. Like, he's in there. He's not going anywhere. And it's like California's one of the most locked down states, and then San Diego County is literally the most locked down, most restricted county in the state.
Yeah.
So,
it's crazy, man. I mean, not to get like super, political and stuff, but I mean, like, that, and then like, all the shit that's happening with, Cuomo up in New York, where he lied about all those numbers for all the the fucking the old people, all the retired. Yeah, I know. Surprise. And it's like, but it's like, like that stuff, that kind of stuff happens on one side of the aisle, and it's like, just because it's on, say, the left, it's like nobody bats an eye. It's so fucking weird to me. Like, like the 1 million signatures. If a it doesn't even have to be conservative. Let's just say it was just like an independent. If a non-Democrat person got 1 million fucking signatures to be gone, they'd be gone. Like, that would be it. They would be gone already.
Yeah. What can you do?
Nothing, apparently, because 1 million signatures don't do it.
Yeah, it's like, that's I'm a firm believer in that. Like, you can't change people. You can only change your situation. So
Sure.
you sit there and complain and be upset, or you just leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people are leaving California, man. Like a lot. I know they were trying to make that law. What was that? The thing where even people that leave up until like 1 or 2 or 3 years, you still had to pay California state tax, and then like the Supreme Court shut it down or something.
Ridiculous.
Like, well, I mean, speaking of crazy stuff, man. Like I was saying, of course you're the champion. You have a target on your back, so I mean that's expected. A lot of people calling you out all the time, but Josh Burns with this hashtag, Beltran versus Burns, and then like I said, Godbeer coming back and all this stuff. Like, what's your day-to-day focus, man? Because I know that you seem like a guy that likes to, you're not going to take somebody like Shewmaker for granted. I'm sure your focus is on him, but you got all this other stuff kind of going on around you with Burns and the idea of Godbeer coming back and possibly mixing it up with him again. So what's your mindset like?
I've said it once and I'll say it again, man. I really don't pay attention to what they're doing. I just focus on making myself better and sharpening my own sword. And things like, I'm a firm believer like in this rule set. Like, it comes down to more so like who you are as a person. Like, what are you gonna bring? Like, when shit fucking gets, because it's gonna hurt and you're gonna bleed and you're gonna get cut regardless. Like, right. Even in the last fight that I won, like the guy ran for 4 rounds and I finally caught him and knocked him out. Like,
right.
Like, even on that one, like, I had stitches over my eye and stitches in my cauliflower ear that busted open, and then I fucking dent in the side of my head for like 2 weeks. It hurt, and like, regardless, like, you're gonna get hurt, So it's like, what are you gonna bring? What are you gonna do to that? What are you gonna bring to the table? And so I really just focus on developing my skill set, sharpening my weapons, and I mean, honestly, like, I just think when I'm in training, I think, okay, like, what type of style is going to beat me? What type of fighter is going to beat me? And then I just make those. We make those adjustments accordingly in practice, and my coaches, I trust my coaches, and they're constantly like just making little tweaks to me, like not necessarily changing my style or necessarily like adding new tricks per se, but just little turns of the wrenches here and there.
Yeah. Is there any one fight that maybe excites you more than the next, or?
I mean, the one that pays me the most money.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I mean, that's another thing too. It's like so funny, like, people, and I get it. Like, I don't really. I sometimes I get mad at my friends. Like, I don't see you guys going on the internet talking shit to people. Like, right. I get so many people, like so many people's fans, like talking shit, telling me I'm a bum and blah blah blah, and their guy's gonna beat me up. I'm like, hey, good. I hope he does. I hope it happens. It works out for you. But like, so, what we were saying, like, I don't care who the opponent is because the amount of money is already contracted.
Right.
Like,
right.
Like, I don't care if it's Sam Shewmaker, if it's fucking Marcel Stamps again for some weird reason, or fucking, Britton Hart wants to get in there and fight. I don't give a fuck because I'm still getting paid X amount of dollars. It's on my contract.
Right.
So anybody can get it for that amount of money. That's basically, but like, there's always like big things on the horizon possibly. And, for me mentally, like, because the freedom that we have, like, doing normal boxing matches, stuff like that always is appealing to me, because that was for me personally, that was the original dream, like, to be a pro boxer. And it's just kind of like MMA happened like boom, like kind of like all of a sudden, and then all of a sudden I'm like, well, shit, like I'm doing really good at this. I guess I'm gonna stick with this. And then every time that I would think, okay, I'm gonna make my boxing debut, I would start training and focusing on boxing, and then like, you know, the matchmaker from UFC or matchmaker from Bellator or whatever would call, and I'd be like, all right, well then it really doesn't make sense financially because, you know, boxing you make maybe like a couple $1,000 like for your debut, you know, compared to like, you know, whatever 30 or 20 I was getting for Bellator. It just didn't make sense. So, but now, being that I have a little title attached to my name, it might generate some dollar signs to do a little crossover fight. So we'll see. But overall, I mean, as far as BKFC, like I don't care. Line them up. I really don't care. And nobody does something like out of the ordinary, to me at least. Like they're all like big fucking strong guys that throw hard.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. Like show me something new that I haven't seen for the last 14 years. For the last 14 years, I've been fighting the biggest, ugliest, scariest guy in the room. You know, and that's who I'm fighting. Like, oh well shit, here we go. You know, so it's like I'm not really tripping. The one guy that I still fucking think has like the most skill and the most fucking slick, weird style is fucking Arnold Adams. And that's the guy I want to fight. But like he's finally there, he's coming back. So hopefully he gets through Bobo Bannon, which I think he should. And then like I win this fight. And then that's the fight that I really, really want. The fight that fucking interests me. But all these other guys that are just fucking big, strong guys that are come and try to take my head off, like good.
Yeah.
Come. I welcome that fucking type of fight all day. But, you know, like somebody like Arnold who's fucking very much like does not want to get hit and fucking moves his head, moves his feet. Like that's the type of guy that is like a fucking chess match or a, you know, like a fucking puzzle to crack. You know, that's the type of guy that I would fucking make me get up every day and go to train even harder than I already do. So that's what I think.
What did you think about, you know, I know you were in Orlando for Tampa, the Tampa area for the last card for Knucklemania. What do you think about Paige Vanzant's debut? You know, the big transition over from MMA, and I guess maybe even from like a business perspective, like the eyeballs she brought over.
I think that it did a great job as far as. So when I look at the whole thing, like, okay, BKFC knew, okay, Paige Vanzant's going to bring however many more hundreds of thousands of viewers. Okay, boom. So we better look our best. And like, that was the fucking best presentation of a fight card that I have ever seen from BKFC. It was fucking phenomenal. It was like being at a WrestleMania. It was badass.
Right.
Walk out, the fucking lights, the big screens, everything. Like, and I haven't even seen it on TV, so I could imagine it looked even better on TV. Like, just being there live, it looked great. So BKFC did a great job as far as like, all right, we better put on our Sunday's best outfit because we're gonna have company over.
Right.
Paige Vanzant's approach to the fight like went exactly how I thought it would go. Like I knew Britt was fired up and she knew how important that fucking opportunity was for her. So she was going to come out and put on the best performance that she's ever had. And she did. And Paige, like I said before, is stepping into the unknown. Like you kind of don't really know what to do unless you know, unless you've been to a bunch of street fights, you're like, fuck it, let's go. You know, and I would imagine that Paige hasn't been in that many street fights in her life, but whatever. That's not to make her a bad person. But you know, like, so it's like always like the feeling out process. And meanwhile, by the time she felt it out and got her rhythm and realized what she could do, 4 rounds had already gone by.
Right.
And a little too late. And you know, but overall, I mean, I thought she did a great job. I think she's a competitor. She's obviously making a lot of money, so she's fucking motivated to keep doing it. Like, it's not like she's gonna go back to the UFC and fucking get a raise anywhere comparable to the money that she's making.
Right.
So it's like this is who's feeding her now. She better fucking learn how to eat. And I think she's gonna do good. I think she's gonna do really good. I feel bad for the next person she fights. I think she's gonna fuck them up.
But it seemed like, and again, this is just I've said this several times in the past, but just from my outside perspective, because obviously I don't fucking do it. But other than the obvious difference of the bare knuckle, I've always said the pace of it, the 2-minute rounds, you don't have the 5 minutes like you do in MMA, right, per round. So that seemed to be it from my outside watching that fight of her. That seemed to be her biggest adjustment. And like you were saying, she really didn't get going until that last round. I mean, she was looking good. I mean, she didn't look bad, in the fight. It's not like she looked terrible, but in the 5th round, it took her those few rounds to kind of get into their rhythm because it's different. That pace is fucking different. I think we've even talked about it before, Joey, but like the pace, I mean, maybe to somebody who's never watched a bare knuckle fight or who, they've never seen it, they've never experienced it. Talk about that pace from your perspective compared to MMA.
Well, I don't know. Like for me, it's like for my approach to MMA, it was kind of like the same way that I approach these rounds. I really only know one speed, and sometimes it's gotten me into trouble in the past, where it's like, because I mean, for me, it always goes back to like, I would always start out the fights like with all these good intentions to use these techniques and stuff that I'd practiced all fucking training camp, and then I'd get cracked a couple times and see stars and like, oh shit, we're in a fight, and like and then I would just like redline it and sprint the whole 5-minute round if I could, and then like, but I mean, you watch my fights, the ones that went just like, it would come down to like a war of attrition. Like if I could drag people into those type of fights, I usually found pretty good success in my MMA career. So now transferring over to bare knuckle, it's great because I just sprint for 2 minutes, rest the full minute, sprint again, rest, sprint again, rest, sprint. And that's what I do. Like I don't try to establish my jab or anything like that. Like we're fighting.
Right.
Oh, you toe the line, they say knuckle up, we're fucking in a street fight. And so like I just get in crazy shape so that I can do fucking 5 street fights in one night, That's how I approach it mentally.
Where do you see yourself, man? As far as I guess the word legacy is it's talked about a lot. The word legacy is I think maybe might be overused sometimes, but I guess for the sake of this conversation, where do you want to be? Do you want to kind of like, keep fighting, keep going until the wheels come off? Do you have a certain idea in your head of, okay, I want to, I want 10 title defenses and then I'm going to right off, I don't know, like right off into the sunset or
I've communicated with my coach, with my team, and we have a clear-cut path. We're doing 5. We're defending this title 5 times, retiring with the belts, and somewhere either through that time or immediately after, doing at least 1 pro boxing fight and walking off into the sunset. That's about it, man. I'm 39 right now, so I plan to get all that done by the time I'm 41. So this will be title defense number 2 of 5 that I'm on track to do.
Right.
Yeah.
How quick? So I imagine, with that said, I mean that would have to be. So what you're looking to at least fight maybe at least one more time this year after Shewmaker, right?
If they let, like, that's the thing that sucks is like I always get spread out now, especially now that I have the title. Like it's really only twice a year. Right. Well, I mean I can't say that because COVID kind of threw a fucking wrench in the whole thing.
Right.
So God willing, I get this one done. I get another one before 2021. or we're in 2021. I mean, for the end of 2021, and then I'll turn 40, and then 2 more, 2022, and retire at the age of 40.
Hmm.
I got a late birthday. My birthday's in December, so it's good for me.
Oh yeah, that gives you the whole year. Then you at least have the whole year.
Yeah.
So what would you just kind of see yourself? Because I know you, like as far as like coaching and stuff like that. Would you want to like transition into some kind of like, I know they gave Lieben like an ambassador job, whatever that means. I don't know exactly what that means, but would you see yourself in some type of, like a just transition to like full-time coaching, mentoring younger fighters kind of thing, or?
I don't know, man. Like, honestly, like, I've always been of the mindset, like, when I'm done, I'm done. I just want to be done. I just want to slide off. Save enough money to have a little bit of comfortable retirement fund, and just get a normal job and just go back to just slide into being normal, man. I don't care if once it's over, it's over. Like, I never want to be one of those guys like that like hangs on for a little bit of fame or a little bit of recognition. Like, I had my ride, like I had my moment in the sun. It was fucking beautiful. And then that's it. I have enough stories to fucking tell, my nephews and my grandnephews, and if I ever have kids or whatever. But, like, that's that, man. I just think that, like, it would just hurt too much for me personally to be like, I just hate, like, I would just want to fight. So if I was around it, like, as a coach or as a fucking, or with an ambassador job, it would just fucking hurt me too much. It would make me upset. So I would just rather just be like, just cut it off. Just break up with her.
No, I mean, obviously in a completely different situation, but I can identify with that because when I was, when I did my pro wrestling stuff, it was kind of the same thing. Like, I had an opportunity to, because I'd hurt my back, which is one of the big reasons why I stopped. And when, I kind of had an opportunity to, help kind of train people and stuff like that. I was like, I can't fucking be around it. I can't be around it. If I can't do it, the way I was doing it, it's like cold turkey. I don't even want to be around it. So like, yeah. I completely I shut it out to the point to where I didn't even watch pro wrestling for years because I just had to, like, it's like a, I think if you're in any type of, like, I think especially with sports, man, and you're any kind of athlete and you've got that fire and that burn to do whatever it is you're doing, that passion, like, it's hard for me to cut it off. And so, like, it's either I had to do cold turkey, I'm fucking done, because it's like a mistress, right? Like when you attach yourself to a sport and like the time it goes into the training, because it's not just the fighting itself, it's the whole lifestyle, like it's being around all the people you're training with, that camaraderie, with everybody. It's the traveling, the shows itself, the everything in between. It's like it's like a fucking drug, man. Like, yeah. It's I can only imagine, because like I said, it's completely apples and oranges, but I can at least I definitely understand that kind of just quitting cold turkey to get away from it.
Yeah. I mean, and maybe like you said, maybe my opinion would change after a few years.
Sure.
And then maybe I would be open to coming back and coaching.
Yeah.
But that's my answer right now. Like, yeah, when I'm done, I'm gonna be done for at least a while. But like, I can already, like, my mind is already thinking like, I'm gonna fucking be a triathlete when I'm done. I'm gonna lose a bunch of weight, and because I love cardio. I love running. I love fucking biking. I'm not so good of a swimmer, so I'd have to focus on that. But like, when I get really into the shit, like getting ready for fights, like I love that. I love that feeling of not getting tired and seeing like how fucking much, what what do I really need to do to myself to get myself fucking dead tired or before I feel I'm gonna fucking piss my pants, like, 'cause I'm like I'm dying. Like I like getting that level, like, because I am sick, like I am sick of that. You know.
Well, I mean, you kind of have to be, right, to be that level. You kind of have to be a little crazy, a little disturbed, you know, to kind of be in that, to get in that zone. You've got to be.
Absolutely.
You know, and I guess, and we don't want to keep it too much longer, man, but like, obviously with specifically, you know, Shewmaker coming up in April, you know, whenever this is, but I mean, how are things looking? You talked about, you know, being in Miami and getting the training. I mean, in this camp, so everything's looking pretty good. Like you're on par. Everything's looking good going into this fight against Sam.
Oh my God, yeah, it's looking really, really good. It's looking phenomenal, man. So I'm excited to go out there, and I'm excited to get like the closest thing to a home crowd that I'll ever get to have while fighting with bare knuckle, because I seriously doubt that BKFC will ever be allowed in California, because it's that great of a state.
Right.
You know, but like over here in Miami, like I've developed relationships like within, you know, the people that take my classes at the gym and the whole community, like the fight team that trains out of the gym that I train out of, and also too, like just like the little people that I like, the few people that I'm meeting throughout the city. You know, this place is great, man. The people, I seriously like. I cannot honestly say I haven't met somebody that I haven't liked. And I've been here a whole month, almost a month. You know, and that says a lot. Like nobody that's like rubbed me the wrong way or like whatever. That guy was a prick. Like, you know, people here are really, really nice.
Well, the vibe is different. I've noticed, like in Florida, you know, the few times I've been down there, the vibe is different. Like everybody's more just, I don't know, laid back. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's just it's different.
Like maybe, and also too, like maybe somebody like, for instance, like the women are fucking ridiculously gorgeous, but they may seem unapproachable. But like every person that I've smiled at or talked to or said hello to, they all like, hi, like super nice. Like the dudes, like the fucking all big and jacked and buffed out, like they're cool as fuck too. Like we chit chat all the time, like at the smoothie bar in the gym. Like people here are just nice. Everyone here is just kind of just doing their own thing, just fucking working. I think a very motivated fucking culture down here. Like everybody's hustling for something. So I like it.
Yeah, 100%, man. Well, brother, I tell you what. Like I said, we don't want to keep it too much longer, man. But April, we know for sure BKFC 17, Beltran versus Shewmaker for the championship. And man, I'm fucking pumped. I'm always excited to see you fight, man. And just love your style and love the way you get in there. So we appreciate your time, sir. And best of luck to you. And I know we'll talk to you soon, buddy.
All right, my man. You have a good one.